Howie Roseman is putting together a puzzle, my friend. While the Eagles already have two of the best cornerbacks in the NFL on their starting roster, the front office never stops working the edges. And today, a name walked through the doors of the Jefferson Health Training Complex for a visit that combines experience, elite athleticism, and a resume that includes 2 Super Bowl championships. But the road this player traveled to reach this moment is a story of resilience that goes beyond statistics. An athlete who survived a torn ACL, who came back, who started in meaningful games, and who was on the field the day the Eagles dismantled the Chiefs in Super Bowl LIX. I am going to tell you everything about this cornerback, what he brings to the Eagles' table, and what this move reveals about Howie Roseman's strategy for deepening the roster on the road to the 2026 championship. But first, if you are a true Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now, because the news out of Philadelphia never stops, and I never let any of it slip by. Let's get into it. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network was the first to report it this Monday. The Eagles brought a free agent cornerback in for an official visit that same day. The player in question has 2 Super Bowl rings on his resume, was selected in the 7th round of the 2022 draft, and built his reputation primarily as a special teams specialist. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighs 199 pounds, and posted one of the most impressive 40-yard dash times of his draft class at the NFL Scouting Combine. The name is Naz Johnson, and his story is more interesting than it looks at first glance. Johnson is a West Virginia native who stayed in his home state to play college football at Marshall University. That is where he built the foundation to get on NFL scouts' radar. 3 seasons as a starter, above-average athleticism, and an explosiveness that was confirmed when he ran the 40-yard dash in 4.38 seconds at the 2022 Combine. To put that number in perspective, 4.38 seconds is the kind of speed that makes any defensive coordinator pay attention. It is not a common number for a 7th-round corner, but NFL scouts also had their reservations. Before the 2022 draft, analyst Lance Zierlein evaluated Johnson as an explosive player with above-average athletic ability, but with physical limitations that could make it difficult for him to stick at safety in the league. The suggestion was a permanent move to the nickel corner position, where his coverage instincts and reaction quickness could be developed with more coaching. It was the profile of a late-round pick, someone you select expecting development, not immediate production. The Kansas City Chiefs used the 259th overall pick in the 7th round to select Naz Johnson. And what happened next is something few 7th-round rookies can ever say. He won a Super Bowl in his very first year in the league. That was in February of 2023, when the Chiefs defeated the Eagles in Super Bowl LVIs. Yes, that game that still stings for a lot of people in Philadelphia. Johnson was there, as a rookie, with a ring on his finger. But the trajectory that followed was marked by serious setbacks. In the 2023 season, Johnson tore his ACL during training camp. He missed the entire year. 0 games played while the Chiefs went on to win another title. In 2024, he returned to the roster, recovered, and had his best individual season in the NFL. 16 games played, 6 starts, 56 tackles, and 3 pass deflections. Those were solid numbers for a cornerback in a rotational role. And it was in that season that the Chiefs attempted to win a 3rd consecutive championship, only to run into the Eagles in Super Bowl LIX and absorb a lopsided defeat. Johnson was on the field in that game, on the losing side. And now, in this 2026 offseason, he is a free agent, and the Eagles brought him in for a visit. Think about the narrative for a second, my friend. A player who defeated the Eagles in the Super Bowl as a rookie in 2023, who was present when the Chiefs fell to the Eagles in Super Bowl LIX in 2025, and who is now sitting in a meeting room at the Jefferson Health Training Complex talking to Howie Roseman about a potential roster spot on the reigning championship team. The NFL is a business, and the stories it produces are better than any fiction. But let's be practical about what Johnson represents for the Eagles at this moment. According to reporter Anthony DeBona of the Philly Special, Johnson's most likely role in Philadelphia would be as competition for a backup cornerback spot and as a special teams specialist. And that second part is critical, because the Eagles, like any team competing at the highest level, need players who step onto the coverage and return units with intensity, commitment, and the intelligence to process complex schemes quickly. Johnson has all of that. 2 consecutive years in the Chiefs organization, one of the best run and most demanding franchises in the NFL, shaped a player who understands what it takes to compete at the highest level. He knows what it feels like to be in a championship locker room. He knows what it feels like to play in a Super Bowl. He knows what it costs to get there, and what it costs when the result does not go your way. Now, in terms of depth in the defensive backfield, do the Eagles actually need reinforcements? Let's look at the full picture. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are the most dominant cornerback duo in the NFC right now. Mitchell was a starter from day one, covering outside receivers with the kind of aggressiveness and technique that surprised the entire league. DeJean took over the slot and was a fundamental piece of Vic Fangio's scheme, including that 33-yard interception return for a touchdown in Super Bowl LX that set the tone for the entire game. Both were named All-Pro in their second season, and both will become eligible for contract extensions after the 2026 season. To get a sense of what is coming financially, the slot cornerback market reference right now is Kyler Gordon's contract with the Chicago Bears, worth $40 million over 3 years. The outside cornerback reference is Trent McDuffie's contract with the Los Angeles Rams, worth $124 million over 4 years. Mitchell and DeJean could eclipse both of those numbers. The Eagles are going to need to manage that cap space with a great deal of intelligence over the next 2 years. That is exactly why the Naz Johnson visit makes sense within Roseman's strategy. You do not build a championship roster on starters alone. You build it with depth, with players who occupy the 6th, 7th, and 8th spots on the 53-man roster, and who can step onto the field when needed without the level of play dropping dramatically. Johnson, with his 4.38 40 time, his experience in 2 Super Bowls, and his specialization on special teams, is exactly the profile Roseman looks for when filling the final spots on the roster. The question that remains is, will Johnson sign? And if he does, what does that mean for the cornerbacks already on the roster below Mitchell and DeJean? The visit is the first step. The Eagles will evaluate Johnson's physical conditioning, discuss his fit within Fangio's scheme, and verify whether the shoulder that kept him off the field for much of the 2025 season is fully recovered. If everything checks out, the next step would be contract negotiations, most likely a minimum or near minimum deal, given the role he would represent at this stage of his career. For Johnson, this opportunity carries a value that goes beyond the financial. Playing for the Eagles in 2026 on a team that is clearly among the Super Bowl favorites means the chance to win a 3rd ring, this time with the team he faced in both of his previous championship victories. It is the NFL in all its irony and greatness. Do you think the Eagles should sign Naz Johnson? Does he have the right profile for the role Philadelphia needs? Or are there better options still available in the free agent market to add depth to the secondary? Leave your take in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later with the latest Eagles news. Fly, Eagles, fly!